This is going to be my take on the boss's difficulty. I'm ranking all the bosses of Elden Ring's DLC. Now, obviously, I haven't fought some of them, maybe. And if I haven't, we probably should just pick a new list. That's going to be what they are, I think. But let's start ranking them. So, Ancient Dragon Man. I felt Ancient Dragon Man wasn't a real boss. I mean, the only difficult thing about him was one thing, and that's the insta kill ability. Yes, so basically what he'll do is he'll jump at you, bite you, and say "Wallahi," and that was the only thing I ever struggled with him. Other than that, he wasn't a real boss. Ancient Dragon Senesax, how you pronounce it? Bullshit. This guy's hitbox made no logical sense. His electric attack, you had to dodge twice, and let's not even talk about when he would slam into the ground with two swords and blow up the universe. Bullshit. Bale the Dread? Bale was a nice challenge. He wasn't overly strong. I mean, to me, I never struggled with Bale. I enjoyed the Bale fight. Genuinely enjoyed it. Now, I would not put it in bullshit because I didn't struggle really, but he wasn't easy. A nice challenge, I think is suitable. Like this guy, I don't think I ever fought him. I don't know about him. No, I didn't fight him. Didn't fight him. Well, let's get everyone I haven't fought yet. Commander Gaius. If he's he was the one boss that I still don't understand how I beat, right? Because with his one attack, where he'll charge into like a hog rider, no matter what you did, it was guaranteed to hit you. I dodged to the side, hit. I jumped, hit. Dodged forward, hit. Forward to an angle, hit. The only way I knew how to dodge him was by using the the backstep slash thing, where you would literally you teleport slightly. That was the only ability I knew, or way I knew to get around him. Other than that, he has no counter. But his phase two, ironically enough, wasn't that difficult. It was easily readable. When you saw, I liked his phase two. His phase one, bullshit. But he was one of the harder bosses in the game. Count Ymir, well, not a real boss. He literally summoned fingers and called it a day. Like, to me, he was one of the easiest bosses in the game. I don't really even see him as a boss. Divine, who made him? Who thought it was a good idea to make the Avatar, right? Like, you start off fighting him with Earth. He's chilled, no problems. Then he goes to ice. No, no, then he goes to lightning. Then he's like, you know what? Nah, run it back, run it back. Then he goes ice. He's like, nah, 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 run it back. Then he goes air. All we needed was fire, and boom, perfect avatar. His hitbox didn't make sense. Like, I don't understand why his head is a hitbox, his bum is, or his ass is a hitbox, but the center of him wasn't a real hitbox. It is weird. But I will say, one of the coolest bosses. The fire, what? The furnace column. We only fought one, but to me, it's a nice challenge. Nice challenge, right? It, it's easy. I can't even hold you. Like the attack, he only has four attacks. I think it's the he kicks, he grabs, stomps with one hand, with one foot, and then stomps with 2 foot or feet. So, I mean, he's not the problem. So I'm not worried about him at all. But yeah, I'd say he's an easy one. There's a bunch of them in the game. I haven't killed them. If I killed one, I'm like, I'm not gonna go fight others. But maybe the others are different. But to me, he's easy. Ghost Flame Dragon version. I think this is the one that I recently fought when I went to go fight what you call him, the putrescent knot or whatever that thing is called. Just the one in the beautiful era. I would say he was easy. Yeah, he. I would say yeah, Furnace Golem's easier. He was still easy, you know, because when you fight this version, he's by himself. He's got no form of assistance, and yeah, I summoned to fight him because I killed him before, and I didn't see a need to fight him again. So I'd say that version's easy. However, version 2 is absolute bullshit. The fact I'm fighting him, okay, but I also have to worry about an entire army of soldiers attacking me at the exact same time. That to me didn't make sense. I don't know why. When there's a dragon killing your men, killing your friends, you still decide to come after me. For whatever reason you decided that. I can't, I don't know why. But definitely one of the most annoying fights in the game. Golden Hippo? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Golden Hippo to me was harder than Bale. Purely because I fought him pre-nerfed where, whatchamacallit, his grab attack was a bit bullshit, if I can say it like that. I would be a completely not near his grab, but yet somehow it would hit me, and I would have nothing to do about it. So I always just assumed that I was doing something wrong. But phase two, he turned into a porcupine. Yeah, I didn't find him difficult. He was just a nice challenge. I wouldn't put him as easy, because of course they gave the biggest AoE attack in the game to the smallest arena. It was a nice challenge. Definitely struggled more in Golden Hippo than Bale. Bale was a lot easier, but Bale wasn't an easy fight, so he deserves to be in a challenge. Jagged Peak Drake. Now there's two of them, if I'm not mistaken. There's the one you fight against that other dragon, and then there's the one alone. Now, if it's the one alone, not a real boss. But if it's the one with the other dragon, I would put here. I'm gonna say this is the one you fight with the other dragon. When it's the two dragon fight, right? I'd say it was easy. Um, because they both fought each other. However, the hardest part is when you're fighting dragons that are killing each other. They tend to like to use the fire attack, and I tended to get involved in it and hit from behind by it 24/7. Don't know why they kept hitting me with it, but other than that, when you killed the one and it was just a 1v1, it really was just easy. Like, I didn't struggle whatsoever. So I'll definitely say that he deserves to be in easy mode. Me- Mesmer the Impaler. Okay, how do you make new list? I don't want to get rid of this list, but yo, yeah, here we go. Mesmer nearly made me jump off something. If you know, you know. This fight took me about 8 hours, and when I was fighting Mesmer, I had one of the worst migraines of my life because I didn't take a break. I was motivated to kill Mesmer. I just couldn't. He kept on spamming one attack against me. Which one was it? It was the when you would take the three serpents and then just throw it at you, but it was every single second just serpent, stop, and then you'd get one hit in serpent, get one hit in serpent, one hit in, and I mean it was just getting annoying when I, and it annoys me that I don't have my recording of me beating him because my software got, I think it was, yeah, I got corrupted back then. But when I beat him, I screamed so loudly that my what you call it, police and security of like the area that I live in came rushing in because they thought someone was getting brutally attacked. Meanwhile, it was just me screaming in joy because I could finally sleep. I phoned my mom and I just said, I said, Mom, are you proud of me yet? I'd be Mesmer. But yeah, definitely one of the hardest bosses, if not the hardest boss in the entire game. But one of the coolest bosses in the entire game, easily. Mitre, Mother of Fingers? Uh, yeah, yeah. She deserves to be who made this. No, one of the coolest, no, one of the ugliest looking bosses, to be honest with you. Very, very ugly. Coolest quest lines, though, I won't lie. I really mess with the quest lines. Besides, I'd get trapped and then hit by, like, whatever that sucky creature was. But I would argue there was two attacks from her, which I just don't understand. Like, how you could dodge it in time. The one is when you're next to her fingers, right? I think it's on her. If you're looking with her in the direction, it'd be on her right side. When you jumped in that area and you started damaging her there, she would do this like quick hand attack and it would almost insta kill you, right? You had no time to react to such an attack. But obviously you could react. You had to like dive into the like whichever angle was closer to getting out of it. But if you didn't react in time, you're getting hit by all of them. And you're just getting wombo comboed. But other than that, decent. And then her second phase where she just decides to throw like Goku Black's Kamehameha around the whole arena and just insta kill you almost. Because you would see it coming, so you'd run forward, and then it would just move into you, and you're like, brother, why? So yeah, definitely one of the harder bosses in the game. Midra, Lord of Frenzied Flame. Oh, this boss. This boss was just bullshit in my eyes. Right. Reason being, very, very predictable to determine what his attacks are going to be. However, the madness build up was just annoying. That was the only thing that was really killing me when fighting him. Was I would accidentally stand in madness and I wouldn't know about it, and it would keep building and building and building and building. And after a while, my character started screaming, putting his hand, and I couldn't move. And then he would just look at me, walk at me, and he's like, "Yeah, you better get those tonight." And then hit me once, and I'll be dead. I'll be like, "Wow." So other than that, he wasn't difficult. I mean, I'm trying to think. The other attack he used to do is when he would combo with his sword, and then at the end of the sword combo, he would like blow up the sword into like a shotgun. That got me quite a few times, but he wasn't like didn't take me long. It took me maybe half an hour to kill him, to be honest with you. This is going off a while ago though, but I'll say about half an hour. Definitely Commander Gaius is harder, and he was harder than Ghost Flame Dragon version 2. So yeah, I'd say this is an appropriate one. Putrent Knight. He was easy. Very, very easy. I did not struggle with this boss. I think it took me 3 tries to beat him. 3, 4 tries. Like, the only thing I didn't. I'll say this, right? Very, very predictable as well to read. His main combo where he jumps off the horse and then starts like spin attacking, and then the horse would attack you. That was the only thing I didn't know, was when the horse would attack. But obviously, after I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, I need to also watch out for a combo of a horse. But then his phase 2 came into play whereby, what should we call it? He would throw frostbite flames at you. Obviously, you could tell where it was, but they came so quickly that sometimes I wouldn't react because I didn't know if I was able to jump into it or if I had to jump out of it. And if it was into it, I always would get hit by it accidentally. But it wasn't really difficult, just chilled. Yo, your PTSD right here. This man, he deserves to have, like, I'm gonna put him like this, right? He deserves to have his own rating. Radon, Consort of Mikola, is by far one of the hardest bosses I have ever fought in a video game. I genuinely want to see someone at From Software games, whoever created him, fight him and beat him. Because I believe they just made him for the shits and giggles to make him. I don't. I think they made him almost unkillable on purpose, so us the community would struggle. Because remember, we always was complaining that Elden Ring was one of the easiest Souls games ever, and we're bored of it. Like, why you make it so easy? And then we got hit with that, and that guy just hurt me. I spent hours. I think the first time I killed him took me about 10 hours. The second time I killed him, yeah, that's another problem. When you join people's worlds to try and fight Radahn, I believe it's the first time they're fighting him because Radon does the first attack is always the same thing. You know, he spins around and you just dive into him when he does that, when he lands it. People would die to that attack. Other than that, the fact that he was able to one hit me on full HP and buffed to have damage reduction didn't make sense to me. I think he was a bit buggy, but I will say when you beat him, oh my lord, it's like a weight coming off your I felt happy inside. I felt like I accomplished life. Like, you know what I mean? I was just so proud to be say I beat Radon. But definitely one of the hardest things I've ever fought in any software game. The Great Red Bear. We fought this guy when we fought Bruce Lee. Um, I'd say it was easy, but Future Night was harder. I'd say yeah. I'd say that's a good rating there. He was an easy fight, you know. I didn't struggle with him at all. When I was fighting him, I was memeing a lot and joking a lot. I mean, I wanted to throw hands with a bear, literally, but it wasn't the hardest fight, right? A bit of annoying when you would do that charge in attack, but nothing hectic. Ranala Twin Moon Knight. Ooh, I'm gonna get hate for this. Yeah, gonna make me a drink tonight. Ronaldo wasn't one of the hardest bosses for me. I did struggle. I'm not gonna say I never struggled. I definitely struggled with Ronala. However, she was easy. Her phase two was too easy for me. I would say that Ronala's phase two is essentially gonna be like Bale's phase two, whereby it's this they like nerfed it almost. There's another boss that hasn't been on this rating yet, but it's the same thing that I'm gonna say for them as well. The phase one is one of the hardest things ever because the comboing and the quick comboing just kept hitting me. But when phase two came out, they just like made it easy. I mean, the first time I saw her triple moon attack, obviously it hit me because I didn't know what I was doing. But every single time afterwards, and that's her hardest attack, right? Every time after, dodge. When I saw her red sword, when she'll do the stance, like you know when you have a sword, you can stance and then select if you want to do the moon attack, if you want to do the flame attack, and you saw the flame sword glow. I was like, okay, get back now, because she's gonna blow up everything around her. So get one lick in and then jump back. With the moon sword, run towards her, because she's gonna swap. So I felt like she was balanced. Also, Ronala is one of the most balanced enemies in the game. Definitely, these enemies are a lot harder than her. Ah, speak of the devil. Saint Romania, Saints of the Blood, whatever her name was. Definitely, yeah, she was bullshit. Wasn't the hardest boss in the game? Phase 1 was one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with, I would say. I would say her phase 1 is harder than Radahn's phase 1. Because when she would take the centipede, throw the centipede out, swing, and then the centipede could hit you again and would insta kill you. That attack took me a long time to identify because she did a lot of combos that were similar. But when she went into phase two, I just felt like it wasn't difficult. I mean, she would do the butterfly technique. Whilst doing the butterfly, you could run towards her and get 2 hits in. Then when she would slam into you, another free hit. When she would roll, another free. Like every attack was just so easy. To me, she was very, as a main boss of Elden Ring, she is by far. Because who's the main bosses? There's Radahn, Mesmer, um, Renala, Romania, Golden Hippo technically, because you have to go through Golden Hippo in order to get to Mesmer. Um, yeah, those are the main bosses basically. Out of all of them, she is by far the weakest of them all, by far. But that's my opinion. Scatter Tree Avatar. Scatter Tree Avatar. It's a bullshit fight. Right. It, what I found annoying about it, I understand it's a tree, but I can't bleed it, but it could bleed me. That one annoyed me. That I couldn't use my new bleed build that I made on that day because I wanted to flex with it. Two, it had three phases. Like, why? And there was nothing, there was one attack different from all three phases. Phase one, boring. Phase two, it'll just charge at you. Phase three, it'll just blow itself up. Like, there was nothing new about it. The scenery stayed the same. The boss design stayed the same. It was just one attack added. I felt it was very, very undermining, and it really upset me to know that they didn't add anything new to it. It was just one simple attack. The Tree Sentinels, not a real boss. Since us as an Elden, yeah, us in Elden Ring learned how to, what you call it, learn how to grow. And the first time we fought the Tree Sentinels, I don't think anyone's ever had a problem fighting them again. Like when you beat the Tree Sentinel first time, then go beat the whole game and go into Game Plus, and then you have to refight Tree Sentinel. I don't think there's a single human that has died to it again. Raksha, what? Rakshasa. I'm butchering names. I'm so sorry by the way for that. This chick, she was, yeah, that's better. Ancient Dragon Man was harder because Ancient Dragon Man had the ability to insta kill. She could not insta kill you from what I remember fighting. I think it took me 2 takes to beat her. Like super super simple and easy, right? But still a boss. Gives you one of the best armor sets in the entire game. I was very cool. I was so happy when we got an armor set. But other than that, easily one of the easiest bosses. Also, I've never fought that thing. I know I've never fought that. Jory, oh, Jory's the boss fight before Midra, and this was easily bullshit. Why do I say? You know what sucks to see? I'm saying these enemies. Okay, yeah, I'll change afterwards. But I'm saying these enemies are stronger than Bale, and that's gonna hurt a lot of people. But nevertheless, Jory, why was Jory bullshit? Okay, not bullshit. I mean, actually, yeah, yeah, that's better. That's better. That's better. It was a nice challenge. It wasn't like annoying to fight, but I would just say that her summoning was bullshit. I think that's the best way to say it. Like her alone or it alone was easily one of the easiest guys to beat, right? But then it would summon 4 normal minions that were copies of itself. Then it would summon that Jabberwock enemy that would just jump on top of you. And it wouldn't summon one set of Jabberwock and one set of the 4. It would summon 2 sets of each. So at once I had 10 enemies on the field chasing me. Where I physically had to use a Mimic Tier because it was just so much trying to attack me at once that I would never have gotten a hit in. So easily one of one of the most annoying fights in the game, I would say. Yeah, and then okay, now we're gonna just change up the settings because I want to make sure everyone's right. Rodon's the hardest, Mesmer followed, then Divine Beast. Yeah, this is all right. These 4 deserve to be here. Commander Guys was a lot harder to me than Ronala, simply because I still don't know how to counter his charge attack. Well, Ronala, I know how to counter all of her attacks. Saint of the Bud was a lot harder than Mitra. Mitra was a lot harder than Ghost Flame. Ghost Flame was just harder than Ancient Dragon due to the fact that Ghost Flame had troops with him. This is version 2, which I'm assuming is the army one. Um, Erdtree. I'm gonna say Erdtree wasn't. The idea of him is bullshit, but he was just a challenge. I won't lie. But Bale was harder than. Yeah. Golden Heifer was by far the hardest. Then yeah, that's is alright so far. Um, easy, future. This furnace column would be up here if you weren't able to crit him and take 90% of his health away from the crits. But other than that, this looks right. Not a real boss. Yeah, but that's my take on Elden Ring's bosses. I was gonna do the main bosses, like I was thinking of doing every single boss in the game again. But in Shadow of the Erdtree, I would argue that this is my opinion as well, by the way. So if you don't agree, well then it's obviously it's because it's my opinion. You're out your own opinion. But to me, this is how I thought the game was. Like to a lot of people, they're gonna say Bale would be like I nearly jumped off something. But let's be real. When I fought Bale, the hardest thing was me trying to connect my. It was just his one attack actually, not even me trying to connect the attack. It was just his Godzilla nuke attack. That was the hardest part about Bale. Other than that, he was a very easy fight. But yeah, next episode, I think I'm just gonna go fight these guys. Just a full on find all of them and just beat them all up. And then I might re-rank them. I might do a ranking of every single Elden Ring enemy in the game. Not enemy, but boss in the game, right? And then go from there. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll check you guys in the next one.